Hey, what's going on, everybody? You already know what time it is, man. It is TKC presents Sicko Mode. You know who I am. It's Evan L.G. Francis, aka Mr. Go to Work. Co-hosts aren't here today. King Francis representing that TKC, the Kingpin Collective. You already know. Check us out on Instagram and all that good stuff, all your wrestling stuff, because you know me and my brothers, we do wrestling, do all that. But tonight, that's not what we're here to talk about. Tonight, I got my drink. I got my smoke, and we are going to discuss Monday Night Raw, the first Monday Night Raw of the Netflix era. You feel me? So this is going to be really good. We're going to hop right into it. Honestly, first, before we even get into results and everything, I will say, I'm one of those guys. I've watched wrestling all my life. You feel what I'm saying? I've watched wrestling all my life. I am a lifelong wrestling fan. That parlayed into me doing wrestling myself, you know what I'm saying, at a independent level with my brothers and stuff. And so for me, I've watched WWE for a long time. I'm a like everybody knows we cover AEW here. I'm a big AEW fan, right? But I will say that this was a really, really, really excellent show tonight. Probably one of the best shows WWE's put on for Raw in a long, long, long time. So we're gonna jump into that, and it did my heart good to see them really do well with this. I really enjoyed the show. I really thoroughly enjoyed the show. So yeah, let's talk about WWE Raw on Netflix. So first off, I remember they opened with a nice video package which was beautiful. They were talking about just the history of professional wrestling in general, and then getting into like the WWE years, and like they say, then, now, forever. You know what I'm saying? And it was a fantastic opening package. Then we get Triple H coming out and giving a great speech, just talking about what's to come, talking about the partnership with Netflix. You could tell that the crowd was truly into everything that was going on. Everybody was excited, sold out building. The energy was palpable. You could just tell something big was going on. And yeah, it was awesome. So let's go ahead. I'll open up the results, which I should have did before I got here. But first and foremost, we started with a tribal combat with Roman Reigns and Solo Sikoa. For me, I thought this match was like tremendous. This was a WrestleMania caliber main event. I felt like with what was going on with the Ula Fala and everything, I felt like the Ula Fala was almost, if not just as important, more important than a title at that time. You know what I'm saying? Tremendous match. Solo came out, regardless of whether he lost or not or won or not. He came out looking great. He came out looking like a star, like he belonged there with Roman. And yeah, I thought this was a tremendous, tremendous match. Let me adjust this right hand just a little bit. There we go. Yeah, I thought this was a tremendous, tremendous match. I don't think that I'm a little worried about Solo and the new bloodline, right? Make sure that's perfectly adjusted. There we go. I don't know where they go from here with that, but I don't know. I don't know. It was interesting, right? I felt like they could have did a lot with Solo winning, right? But I'm not gonna sit here and complain and say that Roman didn't deserve it or where they're going with Roman right now because we don't know. I think that we'll talk about after, at the after the match situation. Um, but I think during the match, Solo made a great accounting for himself. And I think if they don't do anything with this new bloodline, I don't know if they're going to change the name or if they're going to do anything like that. I think it would be a shame because I think they have a formidable group, right? You got Tonga Loa, Tama Tonga, the Gorillas of Destiny, one of the greatest tag teams, period. You got Jacob, who is actually one of my trainers. So shout out to Jacob Fatu, shout out to the whole Samoan dynasty, shout out to Oasis, shout out to Knox Pro and everybody involved in the Samoan dynasty. Shout out to them. But Jacob Fatu is a friend and one of my trainers. And I'm happy for him, man. And I anything that benefits him, I'm all for it because he's one of the best people, honestly, I've met in the business. Uh, I really, really have like high hopes for him. I think they're gonna do great things with him anyway. So yeah, I thought that was a great match. So they were basically brawling in and outside the ring, solo launching steps. Then they get into, the comeback and all of that into the finish to where we get the swapping out of finishers. We get some we get some interference from both sides of the bloodline, the OG and the new bloodline. I thought that the fake out with like when Jacob jumped in and Tama interfered, I thought that that was awesome because that really did give the feeling that, Roman he could lose. Uh, yeah. And before that, The Rock came out, and that'll play into things too, but he came out and gave a great promo too, right? But we'll jump into that because the most important parts of that were what happened after this. But this ended up with like Sammy and Jimmy coming in to offset Jacob and Tama, which was effective. They were missing Jay, but you'll understand why later. Kevin Owens comes out, lays Roman out with the stunner. Cody offsets him. They brawl to the back, and then we get the finish with Solo and with Roman. Switch Solo goes for what I think the second or third Samoan spike, and Roman ducks, hits him with the third, which took it take three of these spears to beat Solo. So Solo came out looking great. I can't lie. It's just what's gonna happen after this. That's the thing, right? But I think that for what it was, great match. It was a WrestleMania caliber event. Awesome, awesome, awesome all around. Afterwards, Roman gets the Olafala, puts it around his neck. Brock comes out, and you could tell they're making you think, are they gonna do this or are they not gonna do this, right? Are they gonna do this or are they not gonna do this? They didn't do it tonight. Rock did not turn on Roman tonight for, whatever reason. They might be just holding it off for for later. We got plenty of weeks up until WrestleMania, which is what I'm assuming. I'm assuming we're getting Roman Rock for the tribal chief status. You know what I mean? Great. That first hour was actually really cracking. That whole first hour was really cracking. Um, I don't think Raw's had a best first out, like a best opening hour, a better one than what they did. This was great. This was great stuff. So Rock acknowledged them, Roman celebrating. We go to the next thing, right? Um, it was great. It was great. And like I said, I hope the new bloodline gets something. I don't know if Jacob is going to maybe turn on Solo and go solo, but whatever Jacob does, he's a made man. He's a star. You know what I mean? So yeah, loved it, loved it, loved it. So we'll give that out of five. I did feel like the ending was a little overbooked. It was giving me like Roman Cody vibes, and that was overbooked. But it had a great finish. 4.5. 4.5. It did exactly what it needed to do. And as long as Solo and Jacob and them wind up good off of this, like on the back end, 4.5. We'll see. After this, I believe New Day had a little segment where they had some little things to say about Kendrick or whatever. They were taking little shots or whatever. They were in LA. Obviously, they were going to do that. Cool, whatever. We move on, right? Um, and Drake did not win the beef. So like anybody who says that, you already know they in Lulu land. You feel what I'm saying? They a little delusional out there. You dig? But shout out to the New Day. Um, they've been super entertaining, I feel like, since they broke off from Biggie and started doing this heel thing. I think they've been super entertaining. It's been good. It's been good. After that, we get John Cena, man. And it's kind of crazy if you came up in the era where Cena was really coming up. he was getting booed out of buildings, man. So to see him get the kind of receptions that he's getting now, it's pretty sick. It's pretty sick. But loud thank you, Cena chants. He shouted out, his time in LA, when he was started out as the prototype. He shouted that out. He was teasing, wrestling guys like Rhodes and McIntyre and all that. And that was that like these are good teasers because these are people you want to see him in. If this is his last year, which it is, we want to see these matches. We want to see these matches. So good on him for that. But and then he was talking about this winning 17 times, right? Winning the 17th title, breaking, Ric Flair record. Uh, which I don't think you should do. I think the 16 should stand there. I think they're gonna book Charlotte to win it anyway. So and whether you like that or not is on you. You dig what I'm saying? On your preference or whatever. I think some of those title reigns have been a little too short, but this is the era we in, you know what I mean? It's the era we in. He was talking about doing that. He's talking about, it's been some years since he's held the world title, and he said it would take like a miracle to win. It would take a miracle to win. Uh, but then he started talking about maybe Money in the Bank, maybe Elimination Chamber, anything like that. But then he paused at the Royal Rumble, which is, a couple weeks away now. And he basically said that he was going to enter the Royal Rumble and try to attempt to get to WrestleMania to wrestle for his 17th world title. Which, hey, you can't go wrong. Him and Gunther, great match. Him and Cody would be a great match. I don't know. I don't know how I feel about Cena in the main event because I feel like we're gonna get Punk and Gunther, right? I feel like that's where we're going. Um, so then we're looking at probably Cena and Cody and like cross generational. This is kind of like the Cena Rock situation, except now Cena's in the Rock's position. He's you know what I mean? He's the part-time guy now. Cody's the guy that's going to carry the company for years to come. You know what I mean? So that would be great. And there are other options out there too for him for WrestleMania. But if this is what they're teasing at and this is where they're trying to go right now, let's see where it is. Let's see where it hits. Next thing we had was Rhea Ripley versus Liv Morgan. And as I discussed this, and there's no disrespect to the ladies, I'm just trying to get, what I mean, get my blunt on. We're gonna get our blunt on. But I really enjoyed this match, man. Liv Morgan, bro, I gotta tell you, first off, she is a baddie, like top-notch baddie. But on top of that, she's improved so much in ring. I don't care what nobody say. You know what I'm saying? When she first came up, she almost had like no disrespect to Liv either, because we all wrestle and stuff. But she had like kind of just pretty girl, kind of almost diva vibes, but she was better in ring than a diva, but you thought that she had a glass ceiling maybe. Nah, she came back and shattered it. You know what I'm saying? She came back and got back to that level and put herself on a level that's like highly respectable. Her reign was legit. It started out kind of rocky, but it's been legit, man. The forever feud, I would assume after this, with Rhea, I think even Rhea said it after the press conference that this was a wrap. So for this to be the conclusion, Rhea gets the title back. I'm assuming maybe something with Becky's about to happen. Cool. I'm with that. I like that. I enjoyed it. Um, Rhea, you know what I mean? Rhea had to go through some adversity in this match. Interference from Dom, interference from because Dom tried to throw the title in there, which was giving a distraction for Raquel Rodriguez to come out there and do her thing, right? And yeah, it was a really it wasn't overbooked, right? You got your little bit of Judgment Day interference, but it wasn't like the whole clique was out there. And it was good. I loved Liv's Eddie Guerrero reference, you know what I'm saying? I loved all that good stuff. Dom's a great heel, and I think this year he'll get a singles title at least, you know what I'm saying? I think he'd make a good Intercontinental Champion or a good US champion if they choose to move him over there to SmackDown, you know? So I think that either way, you can't go wrong, right? So yeah, I think that that was a great match. I'll give this a four. It wasn't really much to, you know what I'm saying? It wasn't like the best match, but the crowd took it to a new level because they were super into it. The crowd was hot tonight, y'all. The crowd was hot tonight. Um, it was really good. It was really good. So I think a four because it finished off a story that's been long, but it finished it off on a grand stage. It got the story across. Rhea got the belt now. I think we're gonna set up Rhea Becky WrestleMania maybe. So we'll see, man. Afterwards was a cool little thing. The Undertaker came out. You heard the gong, crowd went wild. The crowd loves Taker, man. I don't care about politics and all that stuff when it comes to him. You know, the thing about Taker, you know what I'm saying? Like when they and we're gonna get into this with the Hogan situation a little later, right? The thing with Taker is I don't care about his politics as long as you treating people like people. You know what I'm saying? As long as everybody's equal in your eyes and all that type of stuff, I don't care who you subscribe to. So Taker came out. One thing I gotta say, I can't respect the fake pony though. And I love Taker, bro. I know it's a gimmick, but couple of my couple of my homies, couple of my homies fed me up as it was going. And they were saying, "Oh man, what's up with the fake pony?" Because I was like, "Bro, yeah, his hair ain't grow that quick, bro. Ain't no way." Um, that was out of pocket. But besides that, giving giving Rhea the rub, this is some good shit. Giving Rhea the rub, the moment, which that'll be played forever going forward. You know what I mean? Um, that's why it deserves a four. So great stuff. Matter of fact, if you take the match, I'll grade the match a four, and I'll give that moment a five because that was passing the torch. And rest in peace, Bray Wyatt, man, because even though, you know, he probably would have did it anyway. It's a shame that he had to come back and pass the torch again to you know, because I'm not gonna say it was all connected, you know what I'm saying? But when Bray passed, you know what I mean, that cosign, yeah, that cosign, yeah, you know what I'm saying? I don't want to say nothing else than that. But shout out to Taker for doing that. Shout out to WWE. That was a hell of a moment. I wasn't expecting that. Um, so I think Miz and Karrion Cross they went ahead and cut a promo after this. Nothing really to write home about. Miz was talking about how he could beat Cena in the Rumble, this, that, and the other. I think Cross and Miz have like gotten to a point where that act matters now. Um, and yeah, it's cool. It's cool. We'll see where they go. We'll see where they go. But we're gonna jump in. Uh Jay Uso versus Drew McIntyre, bro. Another one, man. Another one. First and foremost, bro, they had hella celebrities there, bro. Macaulay Culkin from Home Alone. That was a yo, that was a shout to my childhood right there. You know what I'm saying? Seeing Macaulay over there, Seth Green. Uh, I ain't seen him in a minute. Good to see him doing his thing. Topanga, who's, you know what I mean? We ain't bringing race all the way into it, but that was my first, you know what I'm saying, white girl crush as a young black man. You feel what I'm saying? Growing up in the hood, we used to watch Boy Meets World. Boy Meets World was always that thing. You feel what I'm saying? That and Family Matters, right? For like the TGIF lineup. And yeah, Topanga, yeah, she was my first little, you know, white girl crush. And yeah, so it was cool seeing her. She aged like wow, you feel what I'm saying? So shout out to Danielle Fishel, um, Topanga from Boy Meets World. Still beautiful, still gorgeous. I know Vanessa Hudgens was there. She's like Vanessa Uso now. I know she you can catch her at some of the AEW events and things like that. So that's really cool to see her. She's gorgeous as well. You got to see, you know, a lot of the WWE superstars who weren't competing that night. They were there. So it was cool to kind of see like the celebs mixed with the WWE people because then it kind of puts the WWE folks in a different echelon. You know what I'm saying? It gives people a different view of a wrestler in people's eyes. You know what I'm saying? So it's really cool to see. I just see it into I'll give AEW that too. It's like they're being in places like as far as bowls and sporting events and things like that. They're being in different places that put wrestlers in a different kind of visibility and a different kind of light. And that gives opportunities to people to maneuver and make some money and be seen in a different way. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of the time it wasn't cool to be a pro wrestler all the time. You know what I'm saying? So right now it's cool to be a pro wrestler. So and that's really cool. So shout out to WWE for doing that. Yeah, 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 yeah. So Jay Uso, Drew McIntyre, my boy Travis Scott came out like me. You feel what I'm saying? Came out big blunt and all that. And it was dope. It was dope. The whole entrance, seeing Travis kind of mingle in and kind of take in the energy of a, you know what I mean, a WWE event. It was awesome. It was awesome. Great entrance. Jay always bring it with the entrance, and the crowd is always into his entrances. And that be the thing about it is if the crowd isn't into your entrance, what's the point? You feel what I'm saying? But I absolutely thought that it was a good match. This was passable. Um, Drew, bro. I don't know if they're gonna move Drew to SmackDown or not, or what they plan is for him. But yo, he should be touching world title go like for a decent reign pretty pretty soon because he been as a heel, he's been crazy. His whole heel run, the thing with CM Punk, his things with the bloodline, everything he do, even the stuff he do on social media, it's great. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to Drew, man, because I remember when WWE first let him go in like the 2010s, I think. You know what I mean? And he was good then, but then he went out just like a Punk or somebody like that. He went out and he drove his value up, right? Or a guy like Cody, you know what I'm saying? Guys like that, they go out elsewhere, drive their value up. You dig what I'm saying? And that's what happens. You know what I'm saying? You go back home with a higher value and a greater appreciation. You dig what I'm saying? And that's what it's all about. So shout out to Drew for turning his whole thing around because ever since he came back to WWE, he's been on a tear. He carried it through the pandemic era. He's done his damn thing, bro. And this past year, he's killed it. He's killed it. So they had a really good match. We'll just get right through it though, because it was pretty much like what I mean, it was a match. But Jay wound up winning. I believe it was like a crucifix or something like that. But it was a pinning combination, right? Yeah, it was a crucifix. Countered from a claymore, I believe. And Jay wins. Drew tries to chase him out. You dig what I'm saying? The whole nine. And Jay, yeah, Jay's on it. Now, what I feel about Jay Uso is like, and once again, you know what I mean? Some of my trainers are from the Samoan dynasty. To me, that's extended fam. You know what I'm saying? Uh, with Jay, I feel like they got to pull a trigger on him to be something bigger than what he is because he's already there. He's already a main eventer. He's already like, if you told me you wanted to book Jay Uso in a storyline where he could win the world title against Gunther at WrestleMania, I wouldn't be against it because he's been at the cusp. So at some point, they got to pull the trigger on him. You know what I'm saying? Um, but yeah, yo, Jay kills everything. Every time he comes out, the people are with him. The Yeets are going. He done beat some of the biggest superstars in WWE in merch. You dig what I'm saying? So there ain't no reason this dude shouldn't be in world title contention at some point. At some point this year, Jay Uso need to be in world title contention. That's my thing. You know what I'm saying? And it ain't because I'm, friends with or got trained by folks within that family and everything. Is I real recognize real game, recognize game. You know what I'm saying? And Jay's been killing it, bro. Jay's been killing it. Um, we'll jump off that and we'll get to kind of talk about something. We'll talk about something that's kind of near and dear to my heart. You feel what I'm saying? Now check this out. Everything was going cool. The whole show was popping. Everything was good. It was smooth. You feel me? But WWE always gotta try the WWE. Listen, listen. Paul, Nick Khan, whoever. Y'all gotta pull that plug on Hogan, man. Like, you feel what I'm saying? Like, no disrespect or nothing. No dis but kinda, you feel what I'm saying? Like, it's time to pull the plug on Hogan, bro. Y'all be thinking, like, here's my thing. Y'all be thinking that it's forgive and forget or let a couple years go by. And, I think Triple H, you know what I'm saying? Triple H has said, uh, in regarding to Punk, you know what I'm saying? Oh, people change and this, that, and the other. I think he said that a couple days ago before Raw. And he was like, people change, people grow up, people do this, they do that, you know what I'm saying? All that. And this is true. But listen, bro. This man was already when he said it. You feel what I'm saying? He was already set in his ways. You feel what I mean? So when he said that, that's not like you 20 or you 18, 16 or whatever, even in your mid 20s and you can still learn when you older. I'm not saying that, but I'm saying like most of these older folks be already set in their ways and they feel how they feel. And that wasn't a young man saying that. That was an older man with the life experience and all that shit saying that shit. You know what I mean? So when they say like, oh, forgive and forget, people change and all that, when Triple H said that the other day, I was on social media and I made a comment, right? And I was like, man, that sounded like an excuse to bring Hogan back or something. Lo and behold, 2 days later, here come Hogan. You feel what I'm saying? Now listen. But you know what though, as a brother, as a wrestling fan of color and everything, I'm gonna talk to y'all because some of y'all I see on the comments and in the forums and all that, y'all be saying, "Oh, y'all just woke and this that." Bruh, everything ain't about woke and everything ain't about this and that. You said what you said, and I remember Hulk Hogan. You're a guy who's taken from and benefited from black culture, brother. My brother, welcome to the hood, Hulk Hogan's neighborhood, my brother. Right? That's what you be saying. You done Hot Rod, you done benefited from being around all these great black men too. You've made money with black people, so that's my thing about it is like you've done so much that's like he's inspired so many young fans that are black or Latino or any other race that it doesn't have a color boundary, right? Or a barrier. So it's jarring and it's hurtful to people who have admired you for a long time to know that that guy is a racist piece of shit. You dig what I'm saying? Like it's hurtful to a lot of young black fans what he said. And that's like a teacher if you're a black student and a teacher one day just out of nowhere you ain't do nothing to him. You ain't do nothing to him personally. But he just yell and go on a rant talking about nigger this and nigger that and you know what I mean? You ain't gonna like, bro, the teacher can say whatever he want years later, but them students ain't gonna forget that. That's always gonna stick in their head. You feel what I'm saying? And the white folks, that are fans of WWE, you know what I mean? Some of them, not all of them, because nobody's a monolith, right? Some of them just don't understand, but it's like, yeah, because you weren't the one being attacked. And you don't identify with us already. So your bias is already there. But as a human being, you know what I'm saying? Even if I wasn't black, you feel me? That wouldn't sit well with me. I have Asian friends, Latino friends, white friends, Palestinian friends, Jewish friends. Bruh, I stand up for my people. I don't care like if I don't identify or if it's not me. When it's not right, it's not right. You know what I mean? And Hogan wasn't right. And you can say whatever you want to say, bro, because it's people that's, bro, killers say that ain't my heart. But push them, and they'll kill your ass too. You know what I mean? Or like a pedo would say he changed. I still wouldn't put my kid around him. So yeah, you might have changed, maybe, but then at the same time, maybe you just trying to move on from it because I seen some of your antics and it don't necessarily scream, I'm not that guy. You feel me? That's what I was saying about Taker, right? Um, I know Taker's a Trump supporter, but like some of my friends is Trump supporters, right? I'm not. I'm an independent. I don't give a fuck about none of these politicians. All the motherfuckers is using you. You feel me? But at the same time, you feel me? When I look at somebody who like Taker who subscribes to Trump, right? Um I still see him as somebody who treats people as people. I ain't never heard him say, "Oh, I don't fuck with black people. I don't fuck with niggas. I don't fuck with this, that, and the third." I ain't heard him say it. I've seen him around Godfather, Yokozuna, all them type people. I've never seen him be that guy. You dig what I'm saying? So if he was, I wouldn't know. Hogan, we know. So it hits a little different. It hits a little different, and people always talk about this forgive and forget. It ain't that, bro. It ain't that. It's when you disrespect a culture. If you would have if he would have said something crazy about like that about Mexicans, he wouldn't be welcome in Mexico. He's an American. We all here, so we all tolerate and deal with each other and try to find a middle ground because we're all Americans. But that don't mean everybody gotta forget you, like forget and forgive you. You know what I'm saying? So the crowd obviously did not forgive or forget him. You dig? As soon as he came out, I think you're always gonna get a pop when you're gonna give a pop when you hear real American the first 2 seconds. And then people actually realized he was coming out, and then he got his ass booed, like worse than he was the heel of the night. He was the heel of the night. And I don't understand, I understand, but I don't understand how WWE didn't see this coming. You feel what I'm saying? Do you think like all that bad press went away with Vince? You feel what I'm saying? People ain't forgetting that, bro. And you got a large contingent of black fans, including myself, right? We're talking about this. It don't sit well with us, but I understand he appeals to a certain contingent that are WWE fans and all that, but it's just a turnoff. You feel what I'm saying? That's why people be glad that places like AEW exist sometimes, because sometimes you don't got to deal with that. But I know Excalibur had his little terms with that too, right? But I'm just looking at it like as a black man and as somebody called me a nigga, I'm gonna slap the fuck out of you. I don't care who you are. I don't care who you are, how big you are, what you done did. Like you gonna have to beat me down, bro, because I'm not gonna get off you. You feel what I'm saying? Every time I see you, it's gonna be on site. So, and that's how a lot of people, and that's me because I have a little bit of a temper. But I look at it, but not everybody's me, right? But I'm saying like if he would have said that to me, I don't care who you are. We're gonna have to do something. We're gonna have to do something. And so I feel like a lot of people and that word people always say, "Oh, why?" Like, if you don't want it to be used, why do black people use it? It's the same reason why women were using the word bitch and doing this, that, and the other, or some Latinos use they derogatory terms and things like that. You know what I'm saying? Same thing with Asians. Everybody uses their terms that were coined on them. You dig what I'm saying? To take power away and kind of return power to their own people. It ain't just black people. But at the same time, we know the history of them words, and when it comes from certain people, it ain't cool. It is what it is based on the history. It ain't based on because you white, you can't say it. No, it's based on the history of that word used by those people that were using it. You feel what I'm saying? It shouldn't be used by them people because you know what it entails, especially with the hard ER. You dig what I'm saying? So I'm from the Bay though. I'm from Richmond, California. Latinos, Asians, black people, white people, we all in together. So when they be using it sometimes, we all in this thing together, and it's a A, not an ER. We know the differences, and but they raised with us, so they understand you know what I mean, what it is and what it ain't. You get what I'm saying? And they're within the culture basically because they're raised within the culture. You dig? But that don't mean I let just anybody say it to me or any I don't. You dig? I barely say it. I don't like it when people say it to me, you know what I'm saying, whatever, but I understand how people was raised, the culture where you was raised at and all that. But no, Hogan was out of pocket because we knew what he was saying. If he wasn't gonna let his daughter mess with a, you know what I'm saying, ER. You dig what I'm saying? Unless it was a rich NER. You feel what I'm saying? And all of that. You feel what I'm saying? Like those things don't go away, bro. There was a lot of people who admired him that were black and they hurt. Then there are people that subscribe to a different political or social point of view that don't view black people like that. They got a problem with it. Now, if you don't, most of the people I see that they just don't got a problem with him saying what he said because they don't care, and that's how they view us anyway. And I'm not gonna like say that's everybody, and some of y'all just think he legitimately deserve a second chance. Listen, dog, it is what it is, man. He don't like he's gonna always be around. He's always gonna be able to collect a check in wrestling because the reality is he's one of the biggest that ever did it. And if it wasn't for him, we wouldn't have gotten to a certain place. So nobody's denying that, right? But as a person, what you do matters, especially when you in a certain spotlight, especially when you done benefited from that culture too, and especially when, you know what I mean? Um, Especially when we in the era where people get held accountable. That's just what it is, bro. Like you can't be mad when you do something and people hold you accountable. That's stupid. Just don't do it then. But then at the same time, that I can't tell somebody what not to say or do or how to feel. But at the same time, I'm just saying that wasn't the move for him. You know, he and I don't even care what he said in the promo because it was just the same old stuff and people was just booing him. They was just booing him and he deserved every bit of it, bro. And maybe WWE is smarten up and be like, you know what? Nah, because when he said something about that real American beer, it was out of here. Like it was out of here. They wanted him out. He was the biggest heel of the whole night. You dig what I'm saying? They shouldn't have brought him out. Straight up. But I see why they did it. Um, I don't know if it was the smartest thing, but they did it. You dig what I'm saying? It is what it is. It is what it is. We gonna move on though. We gonna move on though. So and also, bro, everybody entitled to their own opinion about that. You know what I'm saying? If you want Hogan back, cool, but I don't think he should be back. You know what I'm saying? Because if Booker T went on a rant about crackers and this, that, and the other, and then all the black people wanted them back, and you know what I'm saying? He was just doing this, that, and the third, and we all like black people want them back and this, that, and the other. All of y'all wouldn't be with it. All of y'all wouldn't be with it. Keep the same energy. That's all I be saying. But I'm a universal person. I love everybody. I love all races. You dig what I'm saying? As long as you ain't, you know what I'm saying, out here demeaning people and killing people. I love everybody, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like for real, for real. So we'll move on from that and get into this Seth Rollins and CM Punk situation, which was the main event. A lot of history there, bro. A lot of history there. Been a great build. I like Punk a lot, bro. I've always liked Punk. I've always liked Rollins. I like the fact that since Punk has been back, he ain't been injured again like that. That's great. It was a really good match. It was a really good match. It was a justifiable main event. It was really good. Rollins doesn't have like bad matches. You feel what I'm saying? He's been put in bad situations, like with the Hell in a Cell with the Fiend and stuff like that. He's been put in bad situations, but he doesn't have terrible matches. You know what I mean? So, and this one was no exception. As a matter of fact, I felt like Seth kind of carried the load a little bit, which, him being the younger guy, him being, a little more versed into, the cardio of this shit and everything. I know Punk is in shape. I'm not saying he ain't, but Rollins, he does this shit like 100% all the way. You dig what I'm saying? So Rollins he was going. He was geared up and he was really going. You know what I'm saying? He was taking it different gears, different notches. And, Punk was doing his damn thing too. Great match by both guys. Um, where do they go from here? Because I got a feeling that like it's not over. I think we got what like one or two events before WrestleMania, so we might get another one of those. I think Rollins at some point is gonna get a win. I also think there's a situation where like Rollins, McIntyre do wind up joining forces, which will be cool. Which will be cool. Um, so it's just about where they go from here. Punk, Cena, a couple other guys looking good for the Rumble. If not that, then maybe the Chamber. And it'd be interesting if we get, I think, Punk and Gunther for the World, and then Cena Cody for the WWE Championship. If we work in that route, um, it would be interesting. It would be interesting. So I thought this match was really good. It was serviceable. The ending was what I expected it to be. Um, I think it could have went either way. I think like you could have got away with the Seth winning situation tonight, but they didn't go that route, and that's okay. You know what I'm saying? They'll figure out what's next for Seth because I know this isn't over, and I got a feeling Drew's gonna key into this. Kevin is over there attacking Roman and all that, so some of these things might bleed into each other a little bit. You dig what I'm saying? Because there's a lot of people intertwined that got beef with the OG bloodline and a lot of things like that. And I see a lot of things kind of coalescing right now. So we'll see what happens. But that was a really good main event. Punk wins, GTS. You out of here, Good, really, really, really good first episode of Raw on Netflix. It was one of the best episodes of Raw in a long time, and honestly, that's what you should have expected. I think that's what we all expected was for this to be a great show, and it was an excellent show. They did not disappoint in that facet at all. It was really good. It was really well done. I think that we're in a new era, you know what I mean? And as a guy who kind of more so drifts in the AEW circles and spaces, I thought this was a really interesting show for me to watch because I wasn't gonna cover it. But then I thought, everybody has Netflix, right? Like everybody is watching this shit. And I think that, even being able to give honest reviews and grades on things that maybe I didn't used to watch because I was a turned off fan, you feel what I'm saying, from the Vince era. And getting to see like this in full, a full show of this and what they're doing, I will say, they're firing on their stories, man. And the matches are really good too. I think AEW is more of the match company right now, and they're starting to sprinkle in more story. And I think WWE is more of the story company that's sprinkling in a little more wrestling. You dig what I'm saying? And when they put on shows like this, you get to see that. And they have a roster, bro, that's amazing. They have a loaded roster. You dig what I'm saying? And Penta and all these other guys are, coming around next. I forgot to talk about that segment. But yeah, Penta and Gable, I believe, next week. They have a lot of good stuff coming up next week. You know what I mean? I think Damian and Finn, and a couple other good things coming up next week. They have a loaded ass show, and as long as they continue to push the talent the way they need to push the talent and the stories the way they need to push the stories, we in for a hell of an era. You know what I'm saying? So as it moves me, I'll do these kind of reviews for Raw, you know what I'm saying? If I'm free and available to do so. Because I feel like just an honest viewpoint, because I'm not like and excuse my French, like I'm not a WWE dick rider. You dig what I'm saying? I'm not even an AEW dick rider, any like a dick rider, any company. I watch wrestling. I've been watching wrestling since I was young. You feel what I'm saying? So I thoroughly enjoy just the craft. And so just seeing it being able to be the trade in the craft and also like a wrestler, right? And being in the business with my folks and all that. Um it feels good to see the craft being the trade being applied in different places at different levels. You dig what I'm saying? It feels really good. So 4 out of 5. Well, no, out of five on the scale of five. This is one of the best ones. Presentation was crazy. Besides Hogan, I would deduct. I'm gonna take the Hogan segment out of it. You feel me? Because that was just a misplay. Because if it wasn't the Hogan segment, this thing would get a. If the Hogan segment was there, I would give it a 5. I want to give it a 4.5 just for the Hogan segment, but I ain't gonna do that. With the Hogan segment in there, it's a 4.5. Without it, it's a 5 show. One of the best one of the best Raws I've seen in a long time. So as long as WWE's bringing that kind of quality, which I think we're gonna get for a while, just because of the platform they're on and all of that, I think Raw's in good hands. Hopefully, SmackDown does it. The quality of SmackDown doesn't dip because of the concentration on Raw. Same thing with NXT, but NXT has the benefit of being ran by Sean. You know what I mean? So I think they're in good hands, but I just want to make sure that SmackDown doesn't languish and, fall off just because they're concentrating on Raw because Raw has a massive, massive, massive platform and one of the biggest platforms in the world and Netflix. But yeah, with the Hogan segment, it's a 4.5. Without it, it's a 5 show. All right, so yeah. That'll conclude it, y'all. I appreciate y'all kind of hanging out, you know what I'm saying? Drinking with me, smoking with me, kicking it, politicking about this Raw that just happened. And like I said, as it moves me, I'll do more of these if I got the time to. I got businesses, I'm doing wrestling and all these other things. So you know what I mean? I'll do it as I can. Check out TKC Wrestling on Instagram. You dig what I'm saying? So you can support the crew, myself, my bro Elliot Ray. We got other members, SOS. Shout out to SOS. Um, and we got some other members coming up. I don't necessarily want to just blur them out because then it's gonna mess some things up. But some new members coming up. Shout out to the original members, DJ B, you know what I'm saying, Keith Norris, you dig? Ness, Genesis, everybody, you dig what I'm saying? Shout out to everybody, Alpha, everybody like that. But subscribe, share, all that good stuff. This is the most honest reviews you gonna get. I talk my shit. If it's good, it's good. If it's bad, it's bad. Ain't no dick riding, ain't no bias, none of that. You dig what I'm saying? Also, support the wrestling stuff that we gonna be posting on here too. And yeah, enjoy the rest of y'all day. Um, just know it's TKC, the Kingpins Collective, and these kings wear crowns around here. Evan L.G. Francis, aka Mr. Go to Work, aka King Francis, representing that TKC, that Kingpins Collective. We out. Till next time. You'll see me Wednesday, Thursday for the Dynamite review. All right. Till then, appreciate y'all. You know what it is. Yeet.